Right then, hello everyone. Now, one of my favourite hobbies is watching tea towels dry, and that's what today's video is all about.
I've never watched a tea towel dry before, so I'm really looking forward to it. It sounds really exciting.
It is. I wrote a book called Watching Tea Towels Dry a few years ago. It was a comprehensive guide to this fascinating pastime. Unfortunately, no publishers were interested in the project, which is a great shame.
Oh, you must have been disappointed.
Oh, I were.
Very disappointed. Oh. Well, because there's lots of books about football and music and history and home improvements and fishing and needlework.
There's no need to labour the point, Steve. Anyway, the weather today is not very good, so I thought I would put up the line inside and we can do a bit of indoor watching. Actually, I prefer it this way. You don't get interrupted by neighbours asking, "What are you doing?" or the sound of passing traffic, which can be quite intrusive and spoil the effect.
And train spotting, and of course the buses. There are loads of books about buses, and I've got 17 of them. Some of them are about old buses like the Daimlers and the Crossleys, which had crash gearboxes, and then I've got a book all about the Red London buses and how they change over the years, and then I have another book about the single-decker buses, which were mainly used going between villages in the countryside, and the book about the modern Leyland.
Right. What you need to do is give it a decent soak. Give the tea towel a decent soak, okay? Now, I mean, there's no need to go raving mad, but just make sure that it's nice and wet. Aye, we should get a good day's viewing out of this. Aye. Now, you'll notice that the top part usually dries before the bottom part.
Why is that?
Well, to be honest, I'm not quite sure. I think it may have something to do with aerodynamics.
Right. Science.
Aye.
Science.
Aye. Watching tea towels dry can be enjoyed by anyone. All you need is access to some water, a tea towel and a place to hang it.
No!
Steve, that was right irritating, that was. Will you not do that again?
Sorry, John.
The earliest recorded mention of this pastime is in Saving Aunt Fanny by William Brooke. Although this was written in 1828, it is believed that watching tea towels dry was known and enjoyed as far back as Tudor times. During the Victorian era, the interest seems to have waned. To the middle and upper classes, watching tea towels dry was regarded as quite vulgar. In the late 1960s and early 1970s, watching tea towels dry became synonymous with the drug scene. People would take LSD and listen to music performed by one of the fashionable underground rock groups while staring for hours at brightly coloured tea towels. Many of them claim to have experienced amazing astral trips. Today, watching tea towels dry has once again become respectable, and with people having more leisure time, it's probably more popular now than it ever has been. No, Steve, no.
Oh, sorry, John.
Look, I almost lost my concentration then.
Sorry, John. Science.
Tea towels come in various materials and colours, although most are of a standard size. Some watchers believe that the quality of the tea towel is important, but there is no need to purchase expensive ones. I find those bought in the marketplace are every bit as good. Most watchers prefer the tea towel to be a soft pastel shade with a simple pattern. These have a calming effect and are much more conducive to the watcher's enjoyment. Try to avoid bright, vivid colours, as these can lead to problems such as eye strain, nausea, and in some severe cases, feelings of guilt. In the last 5 years, 2 people have committed suicide after watching tea towels containing strong colours. Plain tea towels should also be avoided, as the bleakness they tend to portray can lead to bouts of melancholy and depression.
What is it, Steve?
Can I go to the netting?
Go on, Steve, go on. You should have gone beforehand. I mean, you might miss an interesting bit of the drying process.
Sorry, John.
Some watchers find that looking at picture tea towels can be therapeutic. These may portray a pair of fluffy kittens or a map of Cornwall and may bring back happy memories to the watcher. Personally, I feel that pictures are a distraction and lessen the pleasure of observing the elimination of the dampness. For those of you who are beginners and are unsure whether watching tea towels dry is suitable for you, try watching a handkerchief dry. It will give you the flavour of the pastime, and hopefully you'll soon go on to enjoy watching the subtle changes in a tea towel as it progresses from a wet to a dry state. The dampness of the tea towel, together with the drying conditions, dictate the watching time. I mean, after all, it is pointless watching a dry tea towel.
Aye.
It has been known for 1 or 2 people to use artificial aids such as hairdryers or even tumble dryers. This is not to be encouraged, as it takes away the excitement which can be found during a long watch. I did hear of one chap who used a blowtorch with disastrous effects. Like many matters to do with watching tea towels dry, whether you choose to view on your own or with friends is down to personal choice. I usually watch on my own. For some reason, none of the friends who I grew up with are really interested in this form of recreation. They prefer to go to concerts, visit pubs and clubs, or even compete in sports like rallying and bungee jumping. They don't know what they're missing. I appreciate that there are those who enjoy the friendship of fellow enthusiasts while watching. I must admit there have been occasions in the past when I've been on my own where it would have been nice to share those exquisite moments of pleasure with someone who recognises and understands the wonderful shifts of the variations of the drying technique.
Have I missed anything?
No, not really, lad. No, it's you know, you were lucky in that. You were lucky in that respect, lad.
If you do wish to watch with others, it's best to know the people you are with. There are those who do not appreciate the intricacies of watching tea towels dry. They can cause unnecessary distractions by continually going to the toilet, eating crisps, flicking through a magazine, or trying to engage you in a conversation about television celebrities.
I reckon we've got another hour's good viewing time left yet.
Ah, right. Really?
Aye.
I must also warn you about another group of people I find equally off-putting. These are what I call the ultra-extremists. These take their watching very seriously and will not welcome any interruptions whatsoever. A few years ago, I attended a small gathering in Weston-super-Mare. During the watch, I happened to drop a cup and was on the receiving end of more than a few dirty looks. Occasionally, for a change, I may watch a pillowcase or a shirt dry. But like all true connoisseurs of drying, you cannot beat watching a tea towel. I feel I have to mention that there are a small group of people who enjoy watching underwear dry. Many devotees of watching look on this as perverse and are extremely worried that not only will this kind of behaviour lead to all watchers being labelled as deviants, but that it will also attract the wrong kind of people to the hobby. I have heard one or two people express the opinion that watching tea towels dry has become boring. I have even heard the word predictable mentioned, which I and many others found very difficult to believe. Watching tea towels dry is about enjoyment. Always remember that. Whether you take up the hobby for relaxation, meditation, or the sheer thrill of witnessing the innumerable, intriguing diversities of the drying motion. If you live on your own, like I and many other watchers do, it can become quite easy to totally immerse yourself in this hobby. Be reasonable. My advice is to go for quality, not quantity. Your health is important. Try not to stare for too long when watching. Some over-enthusiastic devotees have suffered from eye strain, headaches, and in a couple of cases, a complete breakdown in health. It is always advisable to look away every few minutes. This will give your eyes a rest, enabling you to appreciate even more the subtle nuances in the condition of the tea towel as it dries. From time to time, you may come across outsiders who poke fun at your enjoyment of watching tea towels dry. Try to ignore them. They clearly do not comprehend the pleasure to be gained from this hobby and will usually make no attempt at trying to understand it. I fear that it is far too subtle for them. Remember, watching tea towels dry is a wonderful pastime, and it does not mean that you are sad.
Aye, and there it is. It's dry. Just 6 hours and 33 minutes.
Oh, great. That's brilliant. Yeah.
You know, I'm right worn out after that. Anyway, the weather report says it's not going to be very good again tomorrow. So, in a way, I'm glad I videoed that, because it means we can watch that video now and watch that tea towel drying all over again.
Oh, great. Yeah, great.